I am not kidding. I just used my copy of It to kill a fly. Can you see the fly? That happens when you mess with it. But anyway, what's up, BookTube? My name is Juan. I am just one reader, your favorite Mexican booktuber who reads in English. Just kidding, not really. And today I bring you my TBR for the month of October, which is my favorite month because it is my birthday. So of course it's my favorite month. To talk about my October TBR, first I have to talk a little bit about how I do TBRs in general. So, I'm very organized, kind of obsessive. I'm kind of that guy who makes calendars and plans everything, and then just throws all the plans away. So I have in my iPad a list of my TBRs for every month of the year. For each month, I've even done this for 2018 already, so I am that organized. So what happens, or what has happened this year, is I haven't always stuck to my TBR. I haven't been following it like 100%. So for example, in the month of September, I had a ridiculously ambitious TBR planned for September. I had like a bunch of books, but on top of that, in August, I didn't finish all the books that I had planned in my TBR for August. So the books that I didn't read in August, I had to move them to September. So the result being that my September TBR was just like double the normal amount. So September was just not enough time, okay? I had a very good September. I had an amazing September reading-wise. I read a lot of books. I read a variety of books, a lot of which I adored. I think I really exceeded my expectations of my own reading. I read a lot in September, but still, I made some changes. I didn't really follow or stick to my TBR. So, for example, I read like 4 or 5 books that were not even in my TBR. So, for example, Tin Man by Sarah Winman, It by Stephen King, Fortune Smiles by Adam Johnson, which I'm so glad that I just went with my gut and read it because it's an amazing book. I also read No One Can Pronounce My Name by Rakesh Satyal, and another one, I think it was, I don't remember. But yeah, I've been just following my gut, my instinct, and not following my TBR very precisely. So what's happened now is that now I'm going to do my October TBR, and I have to deal with the books that I want to read in October, but also the books that I haven't read from my August and September TBR. So there's kind of been an accumulation of books, if you will. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about what I have to read in order to catch up. So firstly, I have It by Stephen King, which I started in September, but this is just so long that I'm still only halfway through. I still have to read about 700 pages, so I will be finishing this. Then I will probably read 2 new releases that are coming out in October, at the beginning of October. One of them is The Book of Dust by Philip Pullman, of course, and the other one is Origin, the new Dan Brown thriller. So those books, I've been really anticipating them, and as soon as I receive them, as soon as they get here to my home, I will be reading them and probably devouring them. So I will be reading them probably within a week. So I'm not worried about those books being really time consuming. Then I need to do some catching up with the books that I haven't read for August and September, and now I have to read in October. So I'm just gonna go through this quite quickly because I've already mentioned them in previous TBRs. Apple of My Eye by Helen Hanff, The Railway Children by E. Nesbitt, American Psycho, Disgrace by J.M. Coetzee, Autumn by Alice Smith, The Grim Grotto by Lemony Snicket. This is book number 11 in a series of unfortunate events. Fates and Furies by Lauren Groff, probably the book that I am looking forward to the most. The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, and Under the Skin by Michelle Faber. And then the books that I had planned for October originally, which are just 5. A Constellation of Vital Phenomena by Anthony Mara. This is a book that I'm really, really intrigued by because every time I mention this in my channel, people go crazy in the comments section. People start telling me that Anthony Mara is like some kind of storytelling god and that I'm going to fall head over heels in love with this book. Then I'm going to read Slate House by David Mitchell, which is a novella or a collection of short stories, kind of, you know, it's what David Mitchell does all the time. So it's kind of a novel split into different stories, basically. And this one is kind of a companion novel to The Bone Clocks, which I read this year and really loved. And I just love the construction of this book physically. It's beautiful. Then I will be finishing up this series of unfortunate events finally with book 12, The Penultimate Peril, and the last one, book 13, The End. And then the last book that I will be reading in October is the second novel in the Sherlock Holmes universe. This is my anthology that I have, which is, I think, the nicest anthology you can get when it comes to Sherlock Holmes. It's the annotated edition, and the novel that I'm going to be reading is The Sign of Four. So that's what I will be reading in the month of October. Please let me know in the comments down below if you are going to read or if you have read any of these books that I mentioned today, or just tell me what you are planning on reading in October. I also wanted to ask you guys for some help and some recommendations and suggestions because in October, I celebrate my birthday. I will be turning 26. I'm turning 26 in the 9th of October, and so in order to like celebrate or do something special for my birthday, I wanted to make a video that is, you know, related to birthdays and books and reading. So I'm not really sure what I should do. That's why I wanted your help. So maybe you can just throw your ideas out there. I saw a video from the channel Big Owl Books, which is one of my favorite channels on BookTube, Big Owl Books. And I remember that she made a very, very cool video when she turned 25, I think. And it was something along the lines of my 25 favorite books by age 25, which I thought was a really cool idea. So I want to do something like that. Maybe I can talk about the 26 most influential books that I've read or that have made me as a person, as a reader, or I don't know, maybe I could tell you a little bit about the stages of my reading life. I don't know. Let me know because, you know, whatever you guys recommend, I will take into consideration. But anyway, that's it. That's my October TBR. Leave your comments down below, and I will see you next time.